Now we're going to be working with something called the difference quotient. Difference quotient, f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. If you need a greater explanation of this, I have up what I cover in college algebra, and it's called the four-step process. So I use something called the four-step process. You see that it's broken into four pieces: f of x plus h, f of x plus h minus f of x, that's just the numerator, and then I take step 3 and then divide it by h to finish the problem up. So on Canvas, it's called the four-step process, and then you could run through some additional examples there and a full explanation of the difference quotient and what the difference quotient is. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate out this first piece right here, which is f of x plus h. Now, f of x plus h means in the function f, wherever I have an x, I'm going to remove that x, and I'm going to replace it with x plus h. Now, in order to simplify this, order of operations says I need to do the square before I multiply everything by 2. This is a 1 that's sitting in front of this x plus h, so this will just relieve the parentheses there. So removing parentheses, this becomes 2 times, well, x plus h squared is x squared plus 2xh plus h squared, plus, if I look at 1 times x plus h is just x plus h. So this becomes 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared plus x plus h. And if I could combine anything at this point, I would, but unfortunately I can't. F of x is just the original function, and the original function is 2x squared plus x. Step 3 says now it's this part right here. Now we're going to calculate out this numerator, so that's step 3. So step 1 is f of x plus h. Step 2 is f of x. Step 3 is that whole numerator. So that says I'm going to take x squared, 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared plus x plus h. That's what I got from step 1, and subtracting it from what I got from step 2. And then it says, what did I get from step 2? Well, it's more than one term, so I need to put that in parentheses. That's 2x squared plus x. Now, if I've done this correctly, I need to remove parentheses here, but every term that has an x in it by itself, whether it's an x squared or just a plain x, then will drop out. So I will have only terms with h's. So 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared plus x plus h minus 2x squared minus x. Now what you're going to notice is 2x squared minus 2x squared plus x minus x, those all added to 0. So you end up with 4xh plus 2h squared plus h. And notice I have a greatest common factor of h. That's what should be the case under normal circumstances. Now what step 4 does, it's going to take step 3 and then divide the whole thing by h. So 4xh plus 2h squared plus h all over h. Greatest common factor of h, so I can reduce this down. 4x plus 2h plus 1, all divided by h. Now the h's reduce out, so this becomes 4x plus 2h plus 1. This is called the four-step process. Oh, oops, looks like I got off my paper.